The Fantasy Footballers Studio is sponsored by Walmart. Welcome to the Fantasy Footballers Podcast with your hosts, Andy Holloway, Jason Moore, and Mike Wright.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the podcast. It's the Fantasy Footballers Podcast. If you are nasty, I'm the captain today. It's me, Mike Wright. Best friend, Jason Moore.
Jason, nasty boy, Moore.
Oh,
Okay, this is nasty showtime.
all right. Andy's off for the day. That means the two buffoons are in charge. The lunatics are running the show. Is this show going to be 2 hours? Maybe. I don't know.
You really hit that H in
I
the
did.
word hours.
Wait, what?
Why am I saying what?
What way? I really did, but
I'm not going to let that slip.
I'm out of practice as the host.
The host.
But we are in. Welcome. It's Tuesday. It is waiver day. Thank you for joining us. Oh, man, so much to talk about. We're going to jump into the Monday night recap.
You know what sucks about waiver day?
Oh, what's that?
Is that waiver day is as good as it is directly correlated to how bad the week was.
Yeah.
Like, if the week was good football and things that you liked happened and you didn't have brutal injuries, waiver day sucks. And this week was like terrible, devastating. It's like,
there's a number one pickup.
but there's a number
some
guys
one
to get now.
Waiver pickup, and it's only because of the bummer that happened on Sunday. But welcome to the Fantasy Footballers Podcast. It is waiver day. If y'all out there, you want some extra help with your waiver wire rankings, please go check out jointhefoot.com. You can be a kind supporter of this show, get access to a whole bunch of cool premium stuff like our premium tools, stuff that helps us set our lineups. We have the ultimate dashboard in there that really takes the work of scouring the waiver wire, and we make it as easy as possible. It is
especially if you're in a lot of leagues.
These are your leagues. You import your teams. We show you who's available based off of our waiver wire rankings. Maybe there's some guys that got dropped that should not be dropped, and they sneak through the cracks.
You can hide all the players that are already claimed, so you're just looking at who is actually available in your leagues. It's awesome. But while FootClan.com is FootClan.com is a great place to go, there's another URL you need to visit right now. We are doing a big giveaway, and you should go to FootClanGiveaway.com.
For free.
Yeah, this don't cost you nothing. We're just giving away an autographed James Cook jersey for fun.
That's some good timing. Yeah, but it's FootClanGiveaway.com if you want to enter that. Just a couple things you can do over there to help the show, and it puts you into a free giveaway for a signed James Cook jersey. All right, Monday Night Football, the fart fest of the weekend continued.
It went exactly as we expected. The first half was like, oh, okay. Okay, the Commanders are
two picks from Mahomes.
They're there to play some ball. The defense was good, and then the second half was like, we ran out of steam. The Commanders just ran out. They're like, we gave it our best. The Chiefs are just so much better than us.
Yeah, Marcus Mariota, not the best streamer. Bill did not come through. I mean, let's just go through the list. Did anyone actually?
Yeah, Terry McLaurin. Terry McLaurin had an okay game. Unfortunately,
because he scored.
We'll get to this in the news, but he re-aggravated the injury that has kept him on the sideline. So that is really, really bad for him, for managers, for the Commanders in general. And then on the Chiefs side, it's like
freaking Kareem Hunt.
Yes,
you were right.
Freaking Kareem Hunt.
I thought Pacheco was 12 for 58 on the ground.
He got the work. He got the lead carries. But I mean, we were excited about Pacheco. We were excited about Rashard Smith prior to when Kareem Hunt was supposed to be gone. And the reason why is because Kareem Hunt is not the starter. He doesn't get the most workload, but he gets the most valuable touches.
Yeah, he's the hammer.
You never feel like you can start Kareem Hunt, even though if you have to start one, he's probably the guy you do, but he's coming off an injury. So I would imagine most people did not start Kareem Hunt. Some people, maybe they didn't pay attention to the fact that Kareem Hunt was playing, so they still started Isaiah Pacheco. And in fact, because it's Monday Night Football, you probably made that decision earlier. So now you start Pacheco. Some people probably started Brashard Smith, which you don't want to start the third-string running back. We were hopeful that Kareem Hunt would be gone, and instead Kareem Hunt takes all the valuable touches, gets 2 touchdowns on nobody's starting roster, and then you start 2 duds in Pacheco and Brashard Smith. Yeah,
that was a bummer. Travis Kelce.
Ooh, I was wrong there. Yeah. I did not think he was going to have a good game.
I did not see that coming.
I mean, Rashee Rice in the previous 4 games with Travis Kelce. Travis Kelce's had basically like 3 targets a game. And in this one, 8 targets, 6 for 99 and a touchdown. Looked awesome.
The Rashee Rice, if you traded early, you are being rewarded handsomely.
It's not going to go away.
9 for 93 with a touchdown. I don't think it's going away either. I think he is
honestly, it feels like
he's the focal point of the passing game.
It feels like the player that I might be most confident in the entire – him and Puka are like the type of player, the type of utilization where I am supremely confident that it will be difficult to have a bust. I mean, everybody has a bust game, but how? The way that they use these players, it's just kind of – it's just automatic. And the targets will be there. So, 9 for 93 and a touchdown on his own. And I was personally, I was pleasantly surprised to see Xavier Worthy with 7 targets.
Sure. I mean, 5 for 53. We'll take that from Worthy. I think that's kind of what you should expect.
And, of course, Mahomes. Mahomes is balling out.
We're so back. Hey,
he's still running the ball, which is so incredibly important. I wondered when Rashee Rice came back.
Yeah, that's fair.
Does his passing work go up and his rushing work go down, which would make sense? And sadly, even if it was 1-for-1 on a yard-for-yard basis, that hurts you in fantasy. And so instead, his passing work went up and his rushing has stayed active. You love to see it. Had a great game.
All right, let's get into the news.
News and notes from around the league, presented by Progressive Insurance.
Jason mentioned it, but Terry McLaurin did leave the game early with a quad injury. He missed weeks 4 through 7 with the same injury. This will be hold your breath, and hope it was the score was out of reach, and they just said, okay, we're going to shut you down for the day.
We'll find news soon, and they'll say, hey, it's not that serious, and he probably would have gone back in if the game was closer, yada yada. That, and in which case I won't be concerned. But if they just don't say that, like if there's no news,
right,
and he's just missing practice,
but news is good news.
Not always.
But it's the saying.
It is a saying. That is always the saying.
No news is always bad news now.
Some sayings are factually inaccurate.
We just say them because we hear people.
Don't judge a book by a cover. Yeah, that's a great saying,
right?
And usually accurate. There's sometimes, man. I see you.
I seen that book.
That cover sucks. So hopefully we hear that it is minor and that he might even be able to play this week. Because if not, I fear that this is just really bad.
Like you didn't even put a picture on your cover. It's just words. I don't want to read that book.
Yeah.
I'm a child.
I want a cover.
Yeah.
I don't want the cover to be the middle of the book. Ridiculous.
I have plenty of reading ahead of me. Kyle Shanahan says it's too early to say whether Brock Purdy will play in Week 9.
Shanahan, you can't. Shanahan is one of the untrustables. You don't.
Oh yeah.
I don't care what he says.
Yeah. Shanahanigans.
Shanahanigans. Exactly. You know what I do care about? How bad Mac Jones was.
Yeah.
Because
that was poop.
There's so much evidence this year. I mean, it's just human nature, but we have seen it.
Mac Jones has played pretty good.
Absolutely on the season, but last week it was so bad that all of a sudden Brock's toe feels better.
Yeah.
That's what has happened all over. Like Carson Wentz.
Yeah, speaking of guys who probably feel better, J.J. McCarthy looking like he's going to have to start because Carson Wentz will undergo surgery on his left shoulder. It is ending his season. I think it was a labrum. Thank you for your service, Carson Wentz.
Thank you for your service. That was not a thank you. We talked about it yesterday.
This past weekend was horrifically bad. The other ones were fine for Justin Jefferson.
Oh, yeah. I'm talking about how I feel like the Vikings did Carson Wentz dirty this week.
We remember last year we thought Sam Darnold was going to be the sacrificial baby.
Yes, that was Carson Wentz.
Yeah.
They
let him go.
Led him to the slaughter.
Yes.
If you didn't watch that game, everybody that was watching that game was like, why is this human being still in the game? He is writhing in pain. Every play, he's holding his non-throwing shoulder, wincing. I mean, that perfectly named. And you're just like, dude, pull this guy out of the game. And instead, they left him in there to continue taking a beating, and now gets a season-ending shoulder.
Well, I think
surgery.
he had the season-ending injury during the game.
Sure,
and then they identified what it was. Ravens.
I identified it about halfway through that game.
Ravens head coach
from thousands of miles away.
Harbaugh says he's very confident that Lamar Jackson will play Thursday night. That's fantastic. Joe Flacco is day-to-day with a shoulder injury. We do not like that.
No.
We do not like that at all.
I know Betts was a little concerned. We had Joe Flacco as one of the streaming options of the week.
He's one of my top pickups of the week.
Absolutely. I think this is just
from
what I read was just like shoulder soreness. Obviously,
you hope he doesn't have an AC sprain.
Oh, for sure. But more information to come. Hold your breath there because he is extremely important. Extremely. Like, we're going to talk about Cedric Tillman in a second. He's going to be activated to return. He doesn't matter. He doesn't matter at all because Joe Flacco's not there.
Right.
You know who matters again is T. Higgins.
All the Bengals.
And Chase Brown and Jamar Chase. Everybody.
You just couldn't remember Jamar Chase?
I had just said Chase.
Okay.
Chase Brown was on lockdown mode.
This one broke right as the show was starting, Jay. I don't know if you saw it. It's official. The future is here. It's alive in New Orleans. The Saints are making the move. Tyler Shuck is the starter.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Oh, I had not seen that.
Yeah.
Literally, last I saw is that they weren't sure who was going to start.
Is this spread current here? Did we just post that in there, guys? Producers, Kyle?
That is correct.
In Tyler Shuck's first start, he will be heading to L.A. as a 14-point underdog. Good luck, Tyler Shuck.
What did you think of his performance when he came in?
Fine.
You know who it looked like to me? It looked very similar to Spencer Rattler, which was irrelevant.
Yeah, no, I get that, but I think the thing is with Rattler, we've seen him for a couple years. Honestly, the first few games, it was like maybe. I'll give Rattler a maybe. We can evolve and become something, and then it just we got to the point of the season that they said, nope, not good enough. Tyler Shuck. If Tyler Shuck is as good as Spencer Rattler right now, then that's great news for the Saints because he's brand new. Well, I mean, he's kind of old. He's
26 years old. I know he's a rookie, but he played like 20 years of college, has 3 doctorates, and
but Chris Olave, he probably takes a hit at least this week.
Yeah, maybe.
All right. The Rams.
He was still targeted. I think it's neutral. I really do think it's a wash for Olave. But Schefter was out there talking about the trade deadline's coming up this week, and Rashid Shaheed was a name that he threw out as the most likely name he believes to get traded.
Interesting.
That would be great for Olave.
Yes, it would. And Juwan. The Rams updates. Tutu Atwell was placed on the IR, and Coach McVay said Puka is expected to practice this week and play in Week 9 against the Saints. That would be fantastic news. Falcons, Drake London, Michael Penix will be day-to-day with their injuries. The Browns update. They are on bye this week, but we got to give them. Quinshon Judkins, he left the game with a shoulder injury. He's listed as day-to-day with an AC joint sprain.
I saw some doctors that I trust on Twitter that were a little bit more concerned about this one. Obviously, going into bye, that's great, but they were concerned about how quickly he was ruled out mid-game when this is the type of injury where often they can come. It's either like they can come back, get a shot and play through pain, or it's something more serious, potentially even like a broken bone, so TBD. But
okay, Dylan Sampson will be talked about today.
And the sad part is because they're on bye, they don't have the same requirements and rules of telling us what's going on. So that's where we kind of have to project. And for my projections, I'm going to, expect the worst and hope for the best. So in expecting the worst, I'm going to project a bad injury here.
All right. Cardinals news. It's weird.
Yeah.
They released Michael Carter yesterday, and now there's plans that the Cardinals, it was announced today, Cardinals plan to re-sign Carter. I know that they got to do some gymnastics when it comes to roster management, how many games you've played, are you eligible for the practice squad.
It's just weird.
It's weird because I don't remember it being listed as we released this player when you can just – maybe they weren't unable to demote him, so they have to restart the clock or something.
I think what the situation is he has to go through waivers now, and other teams are allowed to sign him. And if they don't, then
they can put him back on do the practice squad.
That's my
stuff.
belief. But yeah, Michael Carter.
Whoa!
Currently not a Cardinal.
Whatever you do, other teams, don't sign Michael Carter and steal him from the Cardinals for their tricks. The Steelers are signing a wide receiver.
Man, I hope they do. I hope someone scoops in and signs Michael Carter. I really do. Just so that the Cardinals can see that they've made another mistake.
Okay. The Steelers are signing MVS. Okay.
All right.
And then this one is interesting. The Panthers.
Oh, yeah.
Coach Canales was asked about Rico Dowdle because we now have 2 games where Chuba has been back. It's not that Chuba has been horrifically bad, but Rico continues to be better.
Yeah, I mean, for fantasy purposes, Chuba was much better than Rico this week
because he got the
touchdown. But this is a guy who, the last 2 weeks since he's been back from the calf injury in Chuba, has had 14 carries for 31 yards, barf. And then this last week, 12 carries for 34 yards, also barf.
Mm-hmm.
So he got the touchdown, was better for fantasy, was the leader. Like, he came in and immediately became the starter. And it was so interesting to see Dave Canales and what he said because it was actually revealing.
Yeah.
It was realistic and human and also, acknowledging mistakes. So, yeah, give us the
quote. Is it asked about the heavier workload for Rico. It says, quote, "It's something we're looking at." And then he said, "Chuba Hubbard has meant a lot to this team. Wanted to give him an opportunity following his calf injury. We cannot ignore the fact that Rico has been exceptional."
I mean, that is
they're dealing with it's a difficult situation. Yeah. You just gave Chuba that contract last year. He was great for you last year. He was fine. He was good to start the season, nothing exceptional. But then Rico, while it was against bad defenses, admittedly, not everyone's getting 200 yards per scrimmage in back-to-back games. Is how do you
even in these
not move to him?
Even in these last 2 games, Rico was 8 for 54 in this last game. The previous week, 17 for 79. Rico has looked awesome. I remember this last week. There was this play where Rico just broke had to be 5 tackles, and it was only a 6 or 7 yard run, but it was just boom, you can't get me. You can. I turned to you and I was like, when did Rico get so strong? I don't know how it took this long into his career, but it's so interesting because obviously we look at these players for our purposes as fantasy assets. And sometimes I think we think that the NFL teams look at these players as NFL assets and what is best for our team. But we forget these are still people around people.
Mm-hmm.
Who had dinner last night together? Whose wives know each other? You know what I mean? There is some of that element where they're he's meant a lot to this team. I wanted to give him the chance. But it's he hasn't been good, and Rico's been great. So, yeah, the swap is going to be made.
Rico, just a short aside, because I'm the host, Rico is going to be interesting, I think, this offseason, where I thought there would be more interest in Rico Dowdle last year, coming off a 1,000-yard season, which he was the starter for half of it. So he did that all in the second half. Seemed like he was going to get it done with Dallas, but did not. And then it took a little bit of time, and he ends up as the backup for the Carolina Panthers. I wonder if he got stuck in negotiations with Dallas, got dragged along, and the contract didn't get where he thought it should be. And then by then it was too late?
Maybe. I think
but
he's NFL teams.
He's 27. I think he's 27.
He's going to get shafted again.
You think so?
I do think so.
He's 20. He's over 27.
He's an older back that's like, it's kind of like the teams are like, do we really believe it? I know we saw it. He looked good, but do we believe it? Do we want to be the team to shell out money for now an older back and potentially be like?
Wonder though, after a second year of doing it, does he get like a nice? That's the 2 year.
Yeah,
Rico deserves a chance to start. It will be
Miles Sanders was given that,
Yeah. Oh my gosh, I want to see Rico as a true starter.
What? You?
Yeah,
do?
I do.
Yeah,
Is that shocking?
Yeah, no.
That was News and Notes, sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Quote today at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company's affiliates and third-party insurers, not available in all states or situations. Coverage subject to policy terms, limits, and conditions. We're going to take a quick break, and then we will be back with the Waiver Wire.
All right. We are in the heart of the fantasy season, and the injuries are already piling up. ACLs, stingers, and turf toes, oh my. In fact, the only thing right now that feels good is having the perfect backup ready to go. So wouldn't it be great if you had a perfect backup in real life too? With Progressive, you get more than just a policy. You get a playbook full of coverage options that you can count on for your home or for your auto. You want to customize your protection? No problem. You can build your coverage just like your fantasy team, making sure you got the right players in every position and a backup plan when you need it most. And when life throws an audible, like that fumble in the driveway or a hailstorm at home, Progressive is there with 24/7 support. Don't get caught without a great backup. Visit Progressive.com to quote today. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and third-party issuers, not available in all states or situations. Coverage subject to term, policy, limits, and conditions.
All right. I just remembered who the top pickup is.
Yeah.
Waiver Wire.
The Waiver Wire, presented by Walmart.
Here we are. Bye weeks. The bipocalypse is gone, so the Cardinals, Jags, Lions, Raiders, Rams, Seahawks, they will be back. However, you will be missing the Browns, the Bucks, the Eagles, and the Jets, so plan accordingly. And my being bummed about who the top pickup is nothing against Tyrone Tracy at all. Last year was super fun. Like inadequate, good player. The only reason he is here because our king has fallen. Cam Scattaboo will be missing the entirety of the year. We got a tweet. He tweeted like, "Hey, everything went great. Good spirits." So super happy to hear and see that tweet that we got. Number one, we got to hear from him. You're like, if you go multiple days after that and you don't hear anything from him, that would have been a little nerve-wracking. But so that is happy, but that will become a conversation for the offseason. But here we are.
Oh my gosh,
Tyrone Tracy.
Oh, dude, you see what's happening in Slack right now?
No,
Jeremy dunking on you because we have had off air this almost beef about one of the mock drafts in the offseason where Jeremy drafted both Scattaboo and Tyrone Tracy, and you mocked him.
Yes,
and then Jeremy's been trying to dunk on you the whole time where it's like, it worked out great because I've got him. And you're like, the issue you brought up was not that it was.
I loved the Scattaboo.
Yeah, it was that you didn't need to also waste the Tyrone Tracy pick. And now he's back to dunking because he was right.
Hey, boom shakalaka on us. But here he is, Tracy.
Boom shakalaka.
Yep, there you go. Coming up for him, San Francisco, Chicago, Green Bay.
Here's what Tyrone Tracy is.
The question is, how aggressive are you willing to be to get Tracy?
I am probably not aggressive enough to get him, simply because what he represents is going to be different to different teams. Tyrone Tracy is not going to come out here and be a league winner without Malik, without Scattaboo, with the current version of the Giants. You don't expect them to be a high-scoring team, right? And if you look at what Tyrone Tracy had a great season last year. Look what he did at the second half of last year, and this is kind of what I would expect going on the second half of this year. And I'm going to read you his fantasy points scored in half PPR after the bye week last year. 7 points, 13.5 points,
Okay.
16.5 points.
Yeah, we'll take that.
4 points, 14.5 points, 8 points, 7.5 points. So it's like he's an RB2. He's a decent weekly player.
There's teams out there that need an RB2.
That's my point. Is I feel like the teams out there that are desperate, they're like, I'm starting, I'm just scratching and clawing to find anyone who I have to start. I have to start this player. You have to go hard at Tyrone Tracy. There's not always, we've seen it last couple of weeks. There's not even someone on waivers that represents this. Scadaboo's not coming back. This is a rest of season startable asset. So you have to go hard after Tyrone Tracy. If you need him,
yeah, you probably do.
Dump half your fab. Dump as much as you need, 60%, whatever. Go get your guy. But I just think, like, if your team is, running back heavy, if you've got good running backs already, Tyrone Tracy does not represent someone that's going to overtake, I believe, those top 15 backs. So just know what he is. If you really need him, go get him. And if you don't need him, still put a bid on him. Obviously,
just in case. Other people in your league might say, well, I don't think I can get him. I'm not even going to try.
Yeah,
it
so
happens.
if you don't need him, put a $15 bid on him. You know what I mean? Just try to get a startable fantasy asset for a reasonable price, and if you do need him, just go get your
Any
guy.
Chance, in your opinion, that Devin Singletary is worth the pickup?
No, we saw – so Singletary was active in that game. I mean, worth a pickup, sure. He is now the insurance option for Tyrone Tracy if Tyrone Tracy gets injured. Devin Singletary is a good, solid veteran football player. But the utilization that we saw when Scadaboo went down, it was –
I'm looking at Scadaboo was
awesome.
It's better than I remembered.
Yeah, and you remembered it.
He's the running back 10 right now.
So
man.
I love you, Scad.
Sorry about that.
I love Cam Scadaboo.
Yeah.
He's my favorite.
All right, Devin Singletary.
Devin Singletary, yeah, I mean, he would be after other backup picks. Like, I would rather have Ollie Gordon, Emmanuel Wilson, Tajay Spears. Like, there are other kind of backup running backs out there that are worthy of picking up this week.
A backup running back? I don't know.
Sure, yeah. But,
we'll get to that.
Yeah, we can get to that.
Bam Knight, a.k.a. Zonovan Knight, a.k.a. Bam Knight.
You were gonna Bam, AKA Zonovan?
They call him Bam Knight.
Yeah.
But like on
what is he in the platform?
On Sleeper, he's Zonovan.
Oh, okay. That's what I was curious.
So if you're searching for Bam, he probably won't show up. You got to use Zonovan. But
Bam can confirm.
Okay, nice. He will be the starter for the Arizona Cardinals.
Wait, who did they play this week?
They play the Dallas Cowboys. So
you know who scores more points this week between Tyrone Tracy and Bam Knight?
I'm going with Bam Knight. He is a very solid pickup for this week. The over-under's at 54.5.
Oh my gosh.
Brother.
Because the Cowboys defense is the best thing in the NFL. Now that Scadaboo is down, it's just they can't stop anyone from doing anything. You watch the Broncos. The Broncos are a better offense than the Arizona Cardinals.
Yeah.
But the Broncos have struggled from time to time. The Broncos didn't struggle on more than like 4 plays last week. And you saw the running game, and it didn't matter whether it was R.J. Harvey or J.K. Dobbins. And it's not to take anything away from those two players who are good, great backs in their own right. But if you watch the plays, it was like, they ran to the left side of the line, and it's like they faked the Cowboys defense out, and the edge defender was like, I'm going straight to the center. And then it was like the whole half of the field was open like 4 different times. So, yeah, let me look here. The last week, they gave up 44 points.
To the running back position?
No. 44 points in the NFL.
Points. Okay.
I mean, they are averaging, it's just like 44 points. 22, 27, 30, 37, 40, 40. It's amazing. This is what you want. So, yeah.
It's a delight.
If you have to have a start, you probably still want to take Tyrone Tracy ahead of Bam Knight because he represents something beyond this week. The window opens up for Trey Benson. He's eligible to return the following week in Week 10. Now, he
won't.
Yeah, his injury was not a 4-week injury.
He had a meniscus cleanup. That is a 4 to 6 week normal recovery time.
But just know a couple weeks later, Bam will go away, and also the following weeks, Seattle, San Francisco, those are much better defenses And so Bam Knight will go from someone that is like, he's pretty much a must start this week.
Yes.
To someone that's like, flex option.
I mean, and Trey Benson. I would do a little.
Oh, absolutely.
I would do a little peek on your waiver wire. Perhaps someone didn't have the IR spot or whatever. I would just go check for Trey Benson. He will be back. He will be the lead runner for the Cardinals. Kyle Monangai is our third highest option at the running back position. It's not incredible, but we had 16 opportunities 2 weeks ago, and then we had 7 carries this week. So
most importantly, this last week he got another carry inside the 5 zone.
Yeah.
So when they get near the goal line,
there is a chance
they might be using him. So yeah, Kyle Monangai should definitely be rostered.
Brashard Smith, he's still worth a stash and hold. Now to the injury guys, which is a harder decision. Tank Bigsby for the Philadelphia Eagles would be the insurance back for Saquon Barkley, and Dylan Sampson looks like he will be the insurance back for Quinshon Judkins. Jerome Ford will still get used, but they went to Dylan Sampson. He back to 6 targets. If you remember the beginning of the year, where Dylan Sampson was just let me pull these numbers. 8. It was 8 targets in week 1, and then the opportunities started to shift because Judkins did come back, and then we had 6 targets this past week. How are you?
Yeah, I mean, so
Ford only had 1 touch last week. How are you approaching
Tank Bigsby and Dylan Sampson?
Correct.
So Tank Bigsby represents a true league winner.
Yes.
He represents someone that...
So, like, the Tyrone Tracy discussion where we're like, if you want him, you're going to have to go hard. Maybe you want to, maybe you don't. If this were Tank Bigsby with Saquon out, it would be a full fab dump for me. So maybe that's why you want to prioritize Tank Bigsby, even though it is a bye week. And they said that Saquon's fine.
Yeah.
What if he's not?
He hurt his groin. They're going to bye week. So Dylan Sampson is a better pickup than Tank Bigsby for total fantasy points scored going forward. Right? Dylan Sampson,
likely.
I think when they come out of the bye, will be the starter.
If Judkins is hurt.
They're going to play when they're out of their bye. They got the Jets, who just gave up a cajillion D points to a running game that wasn't working.
Scientifically speaking.
The Baltimore Ravens, who they are still beat up and will continue to be beat up rest of season. So Dylan Sampson, I would prioritize over Tank Bigsby if I need any running back help.
Is it fair to say you are more concerned about the Judkins injury than the Barkley injury?
That's exactly why. I think Barkley comes back out of the bye and is the starter. If I'm locked and loaded at running back, if I'm 3 deep, like 3, like
starters.
my current team, as an example in League of Record, I've got Jonathan Taylor and David Montgomery and Travis Etienne, and why can I not think of my other?
I don't know. It's not my team.
Josh Jacobs.
So that guy.
I'm fully loaded. Like
flush with cash.
I'm flush with cash. Dylan Sampson's probably not cracking my starting roster, so I would rather go get Tank Bigsby and have him as my stash because should something happen to Saquon, now that he's been on the team for a couple weeks, we saw when Saquon went down, it was like, oh, is it going to be Will Shipley? Is A.J. Dillon going to be healthy? They traded for Tank Bigsby, and
their kick returner showed up,
and he was given the opportunity. He looked outstanding. So he would be, this is a week where there's like different archetypes of waiver pickups, and you just have to look at your roster and say, what do I need? Because whatever you need is out there at running back this week. A 1 week starter, a rest of season RB2, or a league winning upside stash. Those are really exciting plays.
Last running back I want to talk about, because the other guys are really just insurance running backs. Ollie Gordon, Isaiah Davis who the Jets are on the bye, but should Breece Hall be traded, Isaiah Davis will have value.
Yeah,
I think he's a good player.
He looked really good this last week. Braylon Allen though is eligible to return in week 10. Keep in mind, I don't know his
how bad
timeline.
His injury was.
Usually a knee injury
Kyle, look that up, please.
Longer than 4 weeks. So I don't think it's very similar to Trey Benson. I don't expect him to be back at week 10. But honestly, that just is helpful for the Jets to be able to move Breece Hall.
Sure. So the last guy I want to talk about, Tajay Spears.
Yeah.
We've seen essentially 3 games where he is getting an actual workload. His first game back, he was on the field for 25% of the snaps. but then it was 59%, 43%, 52%. So it is a timeshare. He's seen at least 3 targets in all 3 of those games. He finished as the running back 14 this past week because he scored. His yard, 5 for 31, 5 for 22, 9 for 59. Like what we saw when Tajay Spears has been given an opportunity, we're seeing it again.
Yeah, so
it's a running back who's good, but just his body betrays him and doesn't want to play football.
As a reminder, last year he only had 3 games where he played more than 50% of the snaps, which we're seeing him right now start to the last 3 games of this year. He's been right around that 50%, more than 50% snaps, even with Pollard healthy. And last year in those 3 games, he scored 24.2 fantasy points, 20 fantasy points, and 12 fantasy points. He was the running back 5, 12, and 13. So he's got juice. He's got talent. This is a team as well that has already come out publicly and said our entire roster is available for trade minus 2 players. So I don't know. There's teams out there that might look at Tony Pollard and say,
who was the second player?
What's their defensive star?
Okay. I was going through offense. I'm
no, not on offense.
You're like, you cannot get Alec Ayoman from us.
Jeffrey Simmons.
Okay,
Jeffrey Simmons and
fantasy
Cam
world.
Ward, which I'm gonna be honest, Cam Ward should be available for trade. Because you can go get that number 1 pick in. If Cam Ward is on this roster next year, and if
will be.
Sure. Okay, so next year, if the Titans get the number 1 pick, you're telling me they're going to watch what happened this year and go, we're good at quarterback when they could take the number 1 quarterback in the draft?
I see what you're saying. Okay.
So go ahead. Yeah, I would make Cam Ward available.
The Titans are 1-7. The Jets are also 1-7. Wow.
Yeah.
The Saints are 1-7. Interesting. Yeah. There probably will be some off-season drama if that is the case. All right. And Kareem Hunt, I guess you could pick him up.
Yeah,
he's always there.
With the amount of points the Chiefs are scoring,
yeah.
When they get around the goal line, it seems like Kareem Hunt is their preferred tool. So yeah, so Tajay Spears as well. He is nice because he's a flex with benefits.
Sure.
Should Pollard get injured, Tajay Spears would be really good for fantasy. Should Pollard get traded, you have 2 methods here where I think Tajay Spears could catapult into real relevance.
All right, drop candidates. Bill.
Man. If Bill was out there, I would pick up Bill Krosky Merritt, but he's getting opportunities still.
I hate myself I was pretty.
You were so anti-Bill.
I was so.
We loved the jokes and the name.
Yeah. Oh,
but then we would follow up all of our fun jokes of how unstoppable he is and say, trade him, don't buy the hype.
He was, and then we did a trade for, trade away in week 4 or something, and Bill was my trade away. And then the next week it felt like, oh, that might have been a huge mistake. It's not working. It was the Chiefs. It was a backup. It was Mariota.
It was the Cowboys the week before.
Yeah,
he scored 3.7 fantasy points against Dallas. And I know that the team will be much better when Jaden Daniels is there, more scoring opportunities. There are brighter days ahead for Bill. I'm not dropping him, but
would you drop him for Bam?
If I need to start, if I have to start one and that's my only option, I would. That's the point where you're saying I have to roster the guy who's scoring more fantasy points this week. If that's your situation, sure.
Tony Pollard.
As a drop candidate?
Yeah, we get asked these questions. Tony Pollard, Jordan Mason, Travion Henderson are not. I would not drop any of them.
I would not drop any of them as well.
All right, the wide receiver.
And you know what sucks?
What's that?
Our league of record over the last decade has gotten so much smarter. I hate it. Our waivers are never – every single running back is rostered.
We are the league where people write in, those guys, they're not available in my league.
They're not available in ours either, guys.
Yeah, we're giving you the best options, which is why go check out the Waiver Wire tour.
Yes,
tool.
There are deeper names that we are not talking about right now that are on. If you go to footclan.com and use the Waiver Wire tool, they're deeper there.
The wide receiver position at the top, we have a couple of decent options. I mean, Kayshon Boutte remains productive on very limited touches, but he kind of matches the special, like his specialty seemingly is also a specialty of Drake May. It's the deep pass. They get to take on Atlanta. Which Falcons team shows up, I have no idea. And then they do get Tampa Bay the following week. It's on the road, but that's interesting. Christian Watson.
Yeah, Boutte is roulette, but he's got more reward.
Boulette?
Boulette. I like it. Sounds French. Yeah, so this is a guy, we know he can have good outputs. He had a really bad 3-week stretch, weeks 3, 4, and 5. Outside of that, he has been a really relevant fantasy wide receiver. So if he's out there, I would certainly roster him. I mean, I dropped him after week 5 in our league of record, and I regret it.
So Christian Watson, he made his way back for the Green Bay Packers. He stepped in, and he showed up, and he got 4 targets. He caught all 4 for 85 yards.
Yeah, he's a deep field stretching option.
So in terms of snaps, we had Watson was at 56%. Matthew Golden, their first-round rookie, was at 66%. I think that
I will take the better player.
That is going to be an issue for Matthew Golden.
Yeah.
Christian Watson is a piece that the Green Bay Packers have really, really missed.
Yeah.
Where we started off, we're like, why is Jordan Love not really getting it done? And I know the matchup was great this week, but I do not think it's a coincidence that the week a healthy Christian Watson comes back, who was fresh off of an extension. Like, this dude destroyed his knee, and the Green Bay Packers gave him money to rehab and stay with the team. The moment he's back, huge game for Jordan Love. I don't think that's a coincidence at all. I think he really, really helps the rest of the team, but can he help your fantasy team? 4 for 85 this past week. How aggressive are you going to be with Watson?
I'm not going to be very aggressive. I think that very similar to Boutte, it's a roulette option where you can have a good game, but because there are a lot of weapons and a running game for the Packers that can score the touchdowns, unlike for the Patriots, I look at Watson as, to me, it's like Darius Slayton. Darius Slayton, I would rather have than Christian Watson.
Why do I have a memory of Darius Slayton hitting a big play this past
Because
weekend?
he hit an awesome, huge, gigantic touchdown, and it was called back for an absolute do you remember how bad the reffing in that game was?
Yeah.
So
the Philly game.
Yeah.
Yes,
that game
the
was
tush
push fumble where they said we blew for, oh my gosh, we didn't talk about that. Disgusting. I have to imagine Philly fans, they're doing the that was bad. Like, I'm happy it happened, but that's they have to know how bad that call was.
You got away with one.
Oh my gosh. So if you don't know the play you're talking about, they're doing a tush push to pick up, a short yardage situation. And while Jalen Hurts is actively going forward, like they push, it gets stopped a little, and then he pushes forward more, and he reaches, and he gets the first down.
Stretching the ball.
And as he's stretching the ball, I think it was Brian Burns, just grabbed the ball from him.
Give me that.
Give me that. That ball's mine. Took it, recovers it, fumble. They stopped the tush push. And if you watch the
Kyle's
play.
saying it was Thibodeau.
Oh, it's Thibodeau. Okay. Maybe Burns recovered it, or maybe it was all Thibodeau. The cool thing is they were able to stop it. And if you watch a replay, you can listen to when the whistles happened. And it happens way after the fumble recovery, but they blew it dead and they said
it was weird
that it was forward progress stopped, which is not reviewable.
No, which is not reviewable. And
also,
Jalen Hurts continued to move forward after the fumble.
Why would you stop forward progress while progressing? Anyways, nonsense. But in that
but
play,
I'm glad the Slayton big touchdown was not a figment of my imagination.
It was called offensive pass interference. While Slayton is very often guilty of offensive pass interference, this was nonsense. These two guys were just hand fighting the entire way down the field. Even the actual, you know how hard it is to get like the commentators to be like, that was a bad call. They were like, that was a bad call. They took away a huge touchdown for absolutely no reason. But anyways,
so
yes.
So Slayton, what you're saying is Slayton in the same tier of a pickup this week as Christian Watson for you.
He is a tier above to me.
Oh, okay.
I think the way
Jackson Dart fever.
The way Jackson Dart's been playing, pushing the ball downfield, he's going to take shots. They need Darius Slayton without Malik Neighbors. It's like, you know, they need Darius Slayton badly, whereas Christian Watson, they can use him greatly, but they don't need him. They have other options.
You don't feel like no one has really took over. Is there a chance that Christian Watson shows up and actually becomes a true number one wide receiver?
Yes, I think there is a chance. But if I had to say who gets more targets rest of season between Darius Slayton and Christian Watson, I would say Slayton.
So Booty, Christian Watson, Darius Slayton, all very interesting. Troy Franklin went from the hotness to the notness. Now we're back to hot. Are you he's your guy.
I love.
Do you want to deal with this?
His talent. I don't really want to deal with it. I mean, that was the Dallas Cowboys.
Marvin Mims is in concussion protocol.
The Broncos scored 44 points. I would absolutely pick up Troy Franklin. He should be rostered there, and he can be started. But I'm not going hard. This is like he is in my waiver priorities low down. I'm going to make a dollar bid on him or whatever. And if I don't, get him, I'm not going to cry about it.
Where is Alec Pierce compared to Darius Slayton for you?
To me, Alec Pierce is
because this is the same archetype of player.
Very similar. Yes.
Daniel Jones is playing great football. They're scoring. The Colts are scoring so many points. I know that Taylor has been the recipient, but there's going to be games where Taylor scores a touchdown and it's Daniel Jones throwing 3.
Yeah, Watson, Slayton, and Alec Pierce are all very, very similar. So you could make different arguments, right? I'm making the argument that I want the target market share of Slayton because they need him. They don't really have someone else to throw the ball to. Whereas obviously with Alec Pierce, it could be a Josh Downs game. It could be a Michael Pittman game. However, you can make the opposite argument and say, well, I want the offense of the Colts and the playing of Daniel Jones over, the Giants and a rookie Jackson Dart. So it's your own play style. I'm going to always take targets over deep shot option, touchdown potential. But if you prefer I want the guy who has the higher likelihood of actually receiving the touchdown, then that would be Alec Pierce, who's been awesome.
He's been very solid. For the Houston Texans, the rookies, the pair of them, Jaden Higgins, Jalen Noel. Noel, thank you.
Spelled Noel. No. It doesn't.
Jalen Noel, thank you.
Yeah.
They're both there. It was an interesting game it seemed like at the beginning, because a lot of people asked on Sunday Live, like, do I play Noel? What do I do here? And because Noel was the guy last week after Nico left, and my answer was, I can't confidently say who it's going to be. They're both very interesting this week. I think playable, and you could get some upside. The game starts, all the targets are funneling to Jaden Higgins. It's like, oh, here we go. The second-round pick's going to have a breakout. Kind of fell short. 8 targets turned into 4 for 34 and a touchdown. Meanwhile, Noel was 5 for 63. And then Xavier Hutchinson ends up with the actual big game, 5 for 69 with a touchdown. Well, how do you order those 3 guys?
I mean, it's clear. We just need to check Vegas. They knew. They knew something.
Yeah, but
they knew something.
What do you know about these 3 and how you're going after them for your waiver wire?
Well, I'm about to learn. Looks like the Broncos, great defense, 6-2, going to play in Houston against the 3-4 Texans. Mike, where would you put that line?
Give me the 2 teams again. I'm sorry.
The Denver Broncos.
Oh, okay.
6-2.
Yeah.
They're traveling to Houston. The game's in Houston.
Okay.
Against the 3-4 Houston Texans. Broncos, great defense.
I'm going to go Broncos plus 1.5. Or I'm sorry, Broncos minus 1.5. So Broncos favored by 1.5.
Yeah. The line opened. Texans favored 1.5.
Oh,
what do
man.
they know? What do they? So maybe you got to go after these rookies.
Maybe
again. CJ Stroud getting it figured out. I don't know.
Maybe.
Honestly, rookies are a cheat code. Rookie wide receivers in the second half of the year are the players who have the most tendency to kind of break out, help you win championships.
Yep.
So if you want to take a shot on Higgins, Noel, you can also put DK there. Chimray. We said this 100 times in the office yesterday.
Chimray DK is 7 for 93. He
8 targets last week.
Yeah, it's I don't know. Wide receiver 16 back-to-back weeks.
He's looked
so
good on the NFL field. Did you know he leads
the
NFL in all-purpose yards?
I did not.
Yeah, if you include the kick return, punt
Kyle
return.
with a good reminder. 2 games. No Callahan.
Yeah.
DK. Okay, that makes me, honestly, that little blurb that I forgot, that makes me more interested in him. I'll put a
Cam Ward has looked, as much as we've talked poorly about him and as poorly as he's played this season, the last 2 games when they made that head coach change, he passed the eyeball test for the first time where it was like flashes of like, oh, okay, maybe he's got it. Maybe the system was a little bit more of the problem. So yeah, and if you're looking for his name on the platform and it's difficult to find because his name is pronounced DK. Chimray DK, and you don't know how to spell it. It's Dike.
Yeah.
Is his last name.
Yep. Drop candidates. Matthew Golden.
No. I would prefer a lot of the guys we talked about today. So if that's the last guy on your roster, sure.
How far down does that go? Like Alec Pierce or Golden?
If I need a start, I would rather start Pierce. If I'm not starting them, I would rather roster Golden.
What about the Texans rookies?
I would rather roster the Texans rookies. I thought they were better football players coming into the NFL draft.
Okay.
I feel like it's a lot of confirmation bias because I saw Matthew Golden as like a 3rd, 4th round talent, and he went in the 1st. So it's hard to balance that.
Jerry Jeudy.
Punt.
Put him in a cannon.
Yeah.
And fire him into the sun.
Absolutely. Wait, what team does he play on?
The Cleveland Browns.
Is Joe Flacco still there?
No.
Boom. Gone.
Yeah. So you got to take all targets, divide them in half. That's your true target share.
I don't know if that's enough. You might need to add a multiplier there.
He has been not good.
Yeah.
Darnell Mooney, I wouldn't
move on.
I wouldn't drop him just yet. Kirk Cousins is absolutely toast. DJ Moore, I'm not going to.
No.
And I'm not dropping. And Calvin Ridley, what do you do here with the information of the past 2 weeks? No Callahan. Or do you want to give Calvin Ridley a chance, or would you just move on?
I think you should hold him. He's been out. If you need an option, I don't know if he's going to play this week. Their bye week is next week. So you can absolutely move on from him. He's not going to help you probably until 3 weeks from now. But 3 weeks from now, and Deucers, make a note of this, going into week 11, Calvin Ridley needs to be added to our waiver wire pickups.
Okay.
Because I think he'll play then. And
make a note.
If what we're seeing right now with Ward gets better, Ridley might be the number 1 target over,
Io Manor and
DK.
All right, quick break, and then we'll talk some tight ends.
What's up, Foot Clan? Olipop is a new kind of soda with high fiber and 2 to 5 grams of sugar per can. And Olipop's latest collaboration is with Paramount Pictures, introducing Pineapple Paradise, the pineapple-iest soda from Bikini Bottom, inspired by SpongeBob's iconic home. The new limited-time flavor comes in 5 collectible SpongeBob can designs, and you never know which design you're going to get. The SpongeBob movie, Search for SquarePants, opens December 19th, only in theaters. Look, I love soda. We all love soda. I grew up drinking soda. It was our special pizza night thing, and then you become addicted to it. But the sugar, it's not good for you. I'm a big fan of Olipop. It's low-sugar soda. You get the fizz. You get to enjoy it. I love cherry vanilla. That's my favorite flavor. And now they've got the brand new Pineapple Paradise, which I've already had. It's very, very good. And you can get $2 off a 4-pack of Olipop. Go to drinkolipop.com/footballers. Works on any flavor of 4-pack, including SpongeBob. Any retailer, it works there too. And Olipop is sold online at drinkolipop.com and Amazon, and available in almost 50,000 retailers nationwide, including Costco, Walmart, Target, Publix, Whole Foods, Kroger, and H-E-B. Foot Clan, we want you to meet Claude, the AI designed to be your thinking partner, Pop and Josh. When you're making fantasy decisions, Claude helps you work through the complexity behind your choices. like weighing a rookie's upside against a veteran's floor or analyzing how weather patterns might affect your quarterback choice. Claude goes beyond easy answers. It's the AI for minds that don't stop at good enough. It thinks with you, not for you. Try Claude for free at claude.ai/fantasyfootballers and see why the world's best problem solvers choose Claude as their thinking partner.
All right, we're back. We're talking tight ends. This list is quite shorter, but a reminder, Brenton Strange for the Jaguars, he is eligible to return week 11. Darren Waller is week 13. That's still a ways off. My number one tight end, it's Colston Loveland.
Mine too.
It's still him. I was hoping to see a bit more in this past week here against Baltimore, but the whole Chicago Bears team really fell flat.
He doesn't have that much more to give.
Loveland?
Yeah.
I know. The way I feel about Meowson Taylor is the way that you feel about Colston Loveland.
100%.
So someone needs to find a cat pun real quick for Colston Loveland.
Yeah. I will say this. Colston Loveland this week is my number one pickup as well.
At the tight end position.
Yes. Thank you. At the tight end position. The matchup against Cincinnati is outstanding. They are bad against tight ends. We don't know if Cole Kmet will be healthy. If Cole Kmet is out, Colston Loveland should be started. So
I agree.
We feel this. We feel very similar about Mason Taylor and Colston Loveland. We are not calling them bad options.
No.
Or bad players.
No.
Or bad fantasy assets. They're good. They just don't got that dog. Colston Loveland, he does not have that dog. That's someone was like, hey, he broke a tackle, see? And it was like, come on, man. That defender was falling over while he tried to tackle him before he caught the ball.
Yeah, I mean, but
they got juice.
Yeah, it's like both Taylor and Loveland. You give him, Taylor will just fall down where he catches the ball. But Loveland, if you give him the ball in space,
yes,
he will make something happen.
Electric athlete that will he can run away from people.
Yes,
no problem. He can look like a wide receiver out there. There's a reason he was a top 10 NFL draft pick. Just you got to get that space for him.
Are you willing to go after Harold Fannin? He's more rostered, but he might be. That's what I mean. Like he's got the bye week. Do you care?
We just talked about the Browns targets. Okay. I'm not raw.
I mean, he was 6 for 62.
Oh, I mean, he was my start of the week this last week. The matchup was perfect for him.
David Njoku trade rumors are floating.
Obviously, if Njoku got traded, I think Harold Fannin would be outstanding. They're targeting the tight end so much. It's the one area of the field where Dylan Gabriel seems to be able to get the ball. And so, yeah, I mean, I'm not saying you need to drop him, but it's hard to –
I'm saying do you go after – or if you're in tight end purgatory, is he a player if you saw him,
I would. I am in tight end purgatory. If he was on our waivers, I would stash him.
That's what I mean. Juwan Johnson – we were back, 8 targets, 5 for 53.
Shaheed trade rumors.
It's going to be Tyler Shuck, but tons of plays, tons of opportunity there. Would you rather have Juwan or Theo Johnson?
Juwan.
The New York Giants.
Juwan.
Okay.
I was really excited for Theo Johnson from an analytical standpoint. He has pretty much everything to have a breakout. He's young. He's insanely athletic. He is desperately needed in this offense. And film-wise, I just watch him. I'm like, he's not that good.
So we have 3 potential. Don't read them. I got 3. I got 3 potential cat names for you.
All right.
Jeremy has submitted Colston Meowland.
Okay, Colston. That's pushing it. Colston Meowland.
Cheshire Loveland.
Cheshire Loveland
doesn't really flow off the tongue.
Yeah,
you're reading it.
C, but it's not the
and
sound.
Kyle has submitted Mr. Bigglesworth.
We got a winner, Mr. Bigglesworth. Colston Loveland, you are Mr. Bigglesworth.
Oh, God, that one got me good.
That's a good nickname.
It's
because you know exactly who we're talking about. When I say Mr. Bigglesworth, you're like, oh, that must be Colston Loveland.
Of course.
I'm adding that to our official nickname doc right now.
No, we are not.
What are you talking about?
Okay.
Hey,
whatever. We're fast and loose. Luth.
That's done.
It's a low bar these days. All right. Evan Ingram, any interest there? He's been getting targets. They're all. I'm on your side.
Exactly what I said.
These are useless targets, and for fantasy football, if he gets 8 to 10 useless targets, now we're talking. But if you're getting 4 to 5 of them, it's not gonna work out. Cade Otton goes on the bye. I don't think he's important enough to go after. He's not Harold Fanning level to me. Mason Taylor, good game, 8 targets, 5 for 34, pretty solid touchdown catch. But I don't think we have to make moves. But those are the guys who are available at the DST position. Detroit, they could have been dropped because of the bye week. They are back. They're taking on Minnesota. It's probably J.J. McCarthy, who has taken 9 sacks in his short, very, very short career thus far. They are very much in play. The Chargers, widely available at Tennessee. Cam Ward on pace for 72 sacks taken. The record is 76. They are a strong option. The Jaguars.
The nice thing is I don't believe I'm playing the Chargers defense this week personally.
So they won't let everyone else down?
Exactly. I targeted this matchup last week.
They are a great play.
They could not get after him despite the being on pace for record sacks given up.
This will be better. The Jaguars, I like them. It is on the road, but I'm seeing available in 90+% of leagues.
And they're coming off a bye.
And they will be playing against Geno Smith.
Yeah, that's great. He's been doo-doo poo-poo this year.
That is good stuff. And let's see. The Rams are also pretty widely available.
Oh, man.
And again, at home against the Saints.
That should be the number one pick.
You like the Rams more than the Chargers?
I like the Rams more than the Chargers because the Rams are at home.
Yeah.
When I'm looking at defenses, I really want to focus on, if I've got the option, I would if it's in the same tier, I'm taking the home.
Yeah, no, I can agree with that. Full waiver wire rankings are available, thefantasyfootballers.com, or if you want access to that ultimate dashboard, footclan.com. That was this week's Waiver Wire presented by Walmart. Who knew you can get what you need in as fast as an hour? Get free delivery on your first express delivery order with code EXPRESS. Valid for first express delivery order. $50 minimum. Subject to availability. Restrictions apply. We got one more segment.
Full stream ahead.
So every week we try to look at some quarterbacks that are more available in your waiver wire. And because we don't really talk quarterbacks much during the main segment, but I will say it again. I know that Joe Flacco has a shoulder injury, but he is, behind Tracy, he's my number 2 pickup because I said it last week. I am irrationally bullish on what is happening in Cincinnati, and the schedule is great rest of year. I think that Joe Flacco is someone that it will never feel as good as when you see Josh Allen in your lineup. You see Lamar, you look at it and you feel like you pull your sheets up and you're just going to sleep so tight.
It's so warm and comfy.
You will not feel like that with Joe Flacco, but the points he's going to give, I think he's going to be an absolute superstar.
You think he's basically going to do what he did when he took over for the Browns 2 years ago? And
also the past 2 weeks what he has done for the Bengals.
Yeah.
So having said that, Joe Flacco, way up there, but we got the shoulder injury, so we can't confirm if he's going to play this week. Guys who are going to play this week, who do you got?
I'll take Stafford. He was my backup option last week on the Wednesday show because he was going into bye, not playing, and he's not, a sensational superstar fantasy asset. So I think he was dropped in a lot of leagues. If you follow that advice and picked him up, I would play him this week versus New Orleans off the bye, 29
New Orleans
versus there's only one of them. The Rams are favored by so much that they don't even give the respect of all of New Orleans.
They don't know plural.
No, it's just New Orleans. They're playing the New Orleans Saint, and 29-point implied team total. It's tied for the highest of the week. He's been actually throwing touchdowns. Devontae Adams makes a big difference for what he could do around the goal.
Sure.
And for some reason, he cannot throw the ball to Puka in the red zone.
And Puka being back is it's humongous.
Yeah.
I got Aaron Rodgers taking on the Indianapolis Colts over the last 6 weeks. The Colts are 30th in schedule-adjusted points to the quarterback. Their defense it's not that it's bad. It's their offense is so incredibly good that the other team at some point just has to give up on running the ball, and they have to start chucking it. We got a 49.5-point over-under. Rodgers, to me, looks like he's playing capable football. Yeah. I won't say it's great, but I will say it's somewhere between okay and good.
Sure. And this is a good week for if you need to stream a quarterback. Was it last week that was so difficult, or 2 weeks ago? One of those was so difficult. But you got Flacco, Tua against the Baltimore Ravens on Thursday, I think is good.
Man.
Trevor Lawrence.
That one is just you're gonna be shaking and quaking in them boots playing Tua. I'm not saying your process is wrong. That freaks me out, man.
Yeah, I mean Tua has been putting up some touchdowns.
The fact that Baltimore showed up the way they did against the Chicago Bears offense, it just gives me a little bit more pause.
Yeah, I get that. They were coming off the bye, and I think with Lamar there, Baltimore, you would expect them to score a lot of points on the Dolphins.
And then, I mean,
definitely take the over in that game.
Keep an eye on J.J. McCarthy. The first 2 weeks were not great, but Minnesota historically has given us pretty good fantasy value for the quarterbacks. That's going to do it for today's show. Remember, footclan.com. Wait, what is
I got to explain the joke.
What are we going?
I got to explain the joke because
okay.
Last week what happened was right when it was everyone assumed Lamar was playing. It was a 50.5-point over-under for the Baltimore game. And then there was the first report out that it looked like Lamar might not it was the report where it was, even though he was a full participant, he was on the practice squad or on the he was the scout team.
Yes.
And so as soon as that scout team report came out, I was like, let me go check the line. And it was still at 50.5. So I personally made a decent sized wager because I figured I got news before people. I made an investment, thank you, Mike. And I took the under on that game. 50.5, heck yeah. Hours later it was 44.5 points. That's crazy. And Jeremy tailed me. He follows me on the platform, and so he saw it. He tailed me immediately. And then we go to look at our winnings this week because even though that game was really close to going over 50.5 against Chicago,
you were an idiotic quarterback sneak decision away from losing.
From losing that bet, but we won. And so you go to look at your winnings, and then Jeremy's like, "Hey Jay, you bet for the next week." Did you not know this, Mike?
No.
Yeah. So I took the under
you
on
bet
this.
A future?
I was so quick to it that I bet on the wrong game, and so I've got the under on this upcoming matchup against the Dolphins with Lamar active, which I don't want. So I would be rooting for some bad defense there. Whoops. Take your time when you're
slow down, everyone.
When you're playing for fun.
It's a good piece of advice just for life.
PSA.
Take a breath.
So, anyways, that was why I was like, I would definitely take the.
Oh my gosh, that's hilarious. Thank you everyone for joining footclan.com. If you want the ultimate dashboard, we will see you tomorrow. Good luck with them waivers. Goodbye.
Thank you for listening to another episode of the Fantasy Footballers Podcast. Join our fantasy football community on jointhefoot.com and follow us on Twitter @TheFFBallers.